The 2020 NFL offseason was littered with blockbuster trades that changed the league's entire landscape. Will 2021 be more of the same? What's up, everyone? Before we start, we just want to let you know about our awesome giveaway at the end of the month, where we'll be giving away $500 cash to 3 lucky subscribers. Consider this our way of giving back to you, the fans of TPS who helped to make this all possible. To be entered into the contest, all you need to do is subscribe and have your notifications on. And you've got to be commenting on our videos regularly throughout the month. So make sure you hit that bell along with liking and commenting on our videos. If you're already subscribed and have notifications on, then all you need to do is like and comment, and you'll be automatically entered into the random draw. Good luck! DeAndre Hopkins, Trent Williams, Stephon Diggs, Jamal Adams, Calais Campbell, Rob Gronkowski, and Nick Foles were only some of the many big-name players who were sent to new teams last year. Well, the 2021 offseason could be even wilder when it comes to the trade market. Here are 10 blockbuster trades that would totally shake up the NFL offseason. Number 10. Titans bolster pass rush. Acquire GENO ATKINS. The Tennessee Titans defensive line was one of the NFL's worst position groups last year. This team managed to win 11 games and the AFC South despite posting just 19 sacks in 2020. If you ask me, that type of success will be hard to sustain in 2021 if they continue to have such a poor pass rush. The Titans struck out on the Vic Beasley and Jadeveon Clowney signings. But the good news for GM John Robinson is that the trade and free agent markets won't be short on proven quality pass rushers. This may include Cincinnati Bengals defensive tackle GENO ATKINS, who's only under contract for 2 more years. Cincy is in the early stages of a rebuild with rookie quarterback Joe Burrow, and now's the time to sell off veteran players for draft capital. ATKINS had no sacks in 8 game appearances in 2020 and just 4.5 in 2019. The Bengals should trade ATKINS while he still has any trade value, and the Titans should be all over this. ATKINS may just need a change of scenery to regain his old Pro Bowl form. He'd bring a nice boost to Tennessee's front 7, and he can probably be had for a mid to late round pick. Adding ATKINS would go a long way in helping the Titans retain their status as a contender in the AFC. Number 9. Zach Ertz stays in Pennsylvania, becomes a Steeler. The Philadelphia Eagles wouldn't extend the Pro Bowl tight end ahead of the 2020 season, which served as a strong indicator that he wouldn't be with the team much longer. Ertz endured his worst season yet as a professional. In 11 games, he notched just 36 catches for 335 yards and a touchdown. With head coach Doug Peterson gone, and with the entire offense in need of a massive overhaul, it makes no sense for Ertz and the Eagles to continue this partnership. Ertz should have a lot of value in the trade market. We're talking about a guy who had 5 straight 800-yard seasons from 2015 to 2019 after all. The Pittsburgh Steelers should be aggressive this offseason as they try to remain competitive. Ben Roethlisberger needs some weapons with Juju Smith-Schuster likely leaving in free agency, and Ertz would fill in nicely. Add it all up, and Ertz is a perfect fit for the Steelers, who have been searching for a dominant tight end to complement their passing game for a while now. He'd be a huge upgrade over previous guys like Eric Ebron and Vance McDonald. Our guess? The Steelers could get him for the bargain price of a 3rd or 4th round pick. Number 8. Sam Darnold gets fresh start with the Bears. The New York Jets drafted Darnold 3rd overall in 2018. 3 years later, the USC product has left a lot to be desired. Yes, he's had a lackluster supporting cast, and working with Adam Gase didn't help, but Darnold still has to take some of the blame for his frustrating performances thus far. To us, it's clear the Jets need a new QB, and Darnold needs a fresh start. With the number 2 pick, New York should take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, and they should give Darnold the opportunity to save his career elsewhere. With Mitch Trubisky failing to impress in his first 4 seasons, the Bears are clearly in the market for a new signal caller. They already failed in their pursuit of Carson Wentz, so why not go after Darnold instead? Not only is it possible that Darnold could be had for cheaper than Wentz, but he may also have more untapped potential, having been hamstrung by Gase's incompetence and a terrible supporting cast during his last 2 years in New York. Darnold for, say, a 3rd and 5th round draft choice makes a lot of sense here. The Jets can build around a new QB, and the Bears can try to make Darnold the Pro Bowl talent many of us thought he'd be when he was drafted 3rd overall in 2018. It's a win-win. Number 7. Seahawks swing for the fences, land Von Miller. The Seattle Seahawks were carried by Russell Wilson in the passing game in 2020. If they had a half-decent defensive unit, this team could have enjoyed a deeper postseason run rather than a one-and-done. This defense needs a lot of work. All pros Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner cannot mask all the issues alone. And since Pete Carroll and John Schneider love bringing in veterans nearing the end of their prime years, why not take a chance on Von Miller? It's hard to imagine the Denver Broncos picking up Miller's $17.5 million club option in 2021. Given his age and the fact he missed all of 2020 with a dislocated peroneal tendon, the smart call is to bid him farewell and spend that money elsewhere. Miller should be keen on pursuing another championship late in his career anyway. The Seahawks defense would look a whole lot better with Miller manning the defensive line, and Adams could be used more in coverage and far less in the pass rush department. Denver's not close to contending, so why keep a fading star around for another year? The Seahawks need a player of Miller's caliber more than ever. So how about trading a mid-round selection to the Broncos for him? That feels reasonable for both sides. Number 6. Cardinals acquire Stephon Gilmore from Patriots. The Arizona Cardinals will need to upgrade a leaky secondary that stands to lose future Hall of Fame quarterback Patrick Peterson in free agency. They simply won't be making noise in a crowded NFC without fixing a lackluster pass defense. GM Steve Keim and head coach Cliff Kingsbury are officially on the hot seat, which means they should be looking to make some big splashes this offseason. Enter New England Patriots quarterback Stephon Gilmore, who's entering the final season of his contract. Gilmore has been the subject of trade rumors since the 2020 offseason. Bill Belichick obviously isn't keen on extending Gilmore, who will be 31 next season. The Cardinals and Patriots swung a massive trade involving a defensive star 5 years ago. Remember that Chandler Jones deal? That worked out nicely for Arizona. Gilmore is still playing at an elite level, and he would be a valuable asset in a division that features explosive wideouts in Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and Brandon Ayuk. He would single-handedly fix the secondary and help Arizona's defense reach that next level. Because he's in the last year of his contract, Arizona should only have to give up 1 or 2 mid to late round picks for him. Nothing higher than a 3rd rounder. Or maybe Christian Kirk would intrigue Belichick, since the Patriots need help at receiver. Either way, Gilmore to Arizona is definitely something to keep your eye on. Number 5, Browns trade Odell Beckham Jr. to the Packers. If only the Green Bay Packers brought in a much-needed number 2 receiver to complement Davante Adams last offseason, who knows? Maybe they go all the way to the Super Bowl rather than suffer another heartbreaking NFC Championship defeat. The Packers wasted another incredible year from Aaron Rodgers, and unless they upgrade his supporting cast, they'll never get back to the Super Bowl. It's that simple. Well, the Cleveland Browns seem destined to trade Pro Bowl wideout Odell Beckham Jr. He simply hasn't been a good fit with Baker Mayfield, and the Browns' offense performed at a high level even after he suffered a season-ending ACL tear. The Browns don't need Beckham, and he should want to play for a team that will better maximize his skill set anyway. Put him alongside Adams in Green Bay, and it's very likely game over. No NFC defense would stop that duo, and the Packers would show Rodgers that they're actually keen on building around him. Given Beckham's hefty contract, Green Bay probably wouldn't have to give up a whole lot in a trade. Maybe a 3rd and a 5th rounder gets it done. Bottom line, the Browns need to move on from OBJ, and the Packers need to go out and get him. Number 4. Saints begin retool. Send Michael Thomas to Dolphins. The New Orleans Saints are beginning a new era with Drew Brees retired. Veteran guard Nick Easton was released in a cost-cutting move. Several assistants and front office personnel left for better jobs elsewhere. This includes Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn, who will serve as the Detroit Lions head coach and defensive coordinator respectively. Trey Hendrickson and Marcus Williams, 2 of the team's most valuable defensive players, are likely goners in free agency as well. The Saints don't have to rebuild by any means, but with no more Brees and the need to clear out even more money, they should begin a retooling phase. Trading superstar receiver Michael Thomas would be a nice start. Despite being one of the league's top wideouts, he's coming off a down season and still has 4 years left on his mammoth contract. The Miami Dolphins need weapons for young quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who struggled in his rookie year with a limited supporting cast. Devontae Parker is a solid wide receiver, but adding Thomas would change the entire dynamic of this offense. Tagovailoa would have 2 big-time and explosive playmakers to work with, and Thomas might be better off with a fresh start on an up-and-coming team, after experiencing some turmoil with the Saints and Sean Payton in 2020. With a ton of draft capital, Miami can afford to part with several high-end picks for Thomas, and the Saints sure could use the additional draft selections. Would a 2022 first-rounder and a mid-rounder suffice? Number 3. Jimmy Garoppolo returns to the Patriots. The San Francisco 49ers should move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, plain and simple. His injury history and inconsistent production is becoming a burden, and head coach Kyle Shanahan can easily make it work with another quarterback. there's one team that should be all over a Garoppolo trade if it happens, and that's the Patriots. I mean, Bill Belichick is the guy who drafted and developed him. Garoppolo looked like a star in his brief 2-game stints as a Patriot in 2016, tossing 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Garoppolo knows the Patriot system, and Belichick knows him very well. Jimmy G has been a decent fit with Shanahan, but not great by any means. The Patriots can rebuild their offense around Jimmy G, who would instantly bring them back to title contention. Assuming the 49ers find a good succession plan, we can see them giving away Garoppolo for nothing more than a mid or late round selection. A 4th or 5th rounder should get it done. And with that, Belichick would have his originally planned successor to Tom Brady back in the fold. Number 2, Falcons commence the rebuild. Send Julio Jones to Baltimore. With a brand new coaching staff and front office, it's time for the Atlanta Falcons to rebuild. Because of Matt Ryan's contract structure, Atlanta can't realistically trade him until 2022. Even if they keep Matty Ice for another year, the Falcons should shop All-Pro wideout Julio Jones while his value is at an all-time high. He's entering his age 32 season and coming off an injury-ravaged 2020 campaign. So now's the time to move him, before it's too late. No team could use Jones more than the Baltimore Ravens. The only real weakness on their roster at the moment is wide receiver. Outside of Marquise Brown, there's not many options there for Lamar Jackson. And the offense won't get by if they rely entirely on the rushing game. Baltimore simply won't contend with the Kansas City Chiefs and Buffalo Bills if they don't supply Jackson with some receiving help. This is the time to go all in and make a play for Jones, who should feel the desire to join a contender at this stage of his career. Even if the cost is something hefty like a first-round pick and more, Baltimore has to go for it. These opportunities don't come around very often. Number 1, Texans give in and trade Deshaun Watson to the 49ers. The Texans have no choice but to accept their fate and trade disgruntled superstar quarterback Deshaun Watson. The damage is done. He understandably doesn't want to be a part of this dysfunctional franchise anymore. Close to a dozen teams must have legitimate interest in him, but the 49ers are the best fit for a variety of reasons. The Miami Dolphins are also a strong fit, but they seem committed to Tua Tagovailoa. So, in that case, if you're Watson, who's a better fit than San Fran? He'd be joining a fun-loving culture and a franchise with a rich history of winning. You're going to a team built to win now with a top-tier front office and world-class coaching staff. And let's not forget that the Niners also have George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and a superb rushing offense to offer Watson. The 49ers would be the team to beat in the NFC if they landed the Texans quarterback. We can easily see them offering up a package of multiple first, second, and third rounder picks. They could even throw in a roster player or two, like Dee Ford or Deebo Samuel. The Texans begin the scorched earth rebuild, and the 49ers make a move that will catapult them to the top of the NFC. This is the trade that would totally shake up the 2021 offseason, more than any other trade we've seen or are about to see. But hey, what other blockbuster NFL trades would shake up the offseason? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.